The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, their guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirely without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group, copyright 2025. All rights are reserved.
The march to freedom is long, and it must continue to evolve.
Led by God and grounded in Scripture.
The march to freedom must be righteous, with a focus on accountability and sustainability to ensure that we leave no man behind.
Have the courage to do the right thing and get yourself a red Bible.
As we unleash the minds, you can be confident that the revolution is alive, and we will continue to document it.
This is Freedom March.
This is Freedom March. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Levan Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM, channel 224, that's on cable, channel 112, that's on Flow, and of course ILTV Studios on Facebook, where by now you should be following us. It's been a long weekend. Sometimes when the weekend is as long as this one was, you forget what it is you should be doing at work. And so for all of the people who are back at work this week, who have things to do, who have functions that other people's lives depend on, I admonish you, I implore you, I would even like to subtly suggest to you that you got to make it through this week. And I know with all of the rain that is falling out of the sky, the only thing that you're thinking about is peas soup. And so for all of the women that are out there that are safe, it has been raining since Saturday. And I have a friend whose name is Tony Montana, who anecdotally suggests that if it rains on Sunday, it's going to rain every day that week. And if Tony is right, then I put it to you that every saved woman everywhere in the Commonwealth has a fiduciary responsibility to ensure that they have 3 pounds of salt beef, that they have 3 pounds of ham, that they have at least 3 pounds of spare ribs, that they have themselves some pigeon peas soaking somewhere, that they also have themselves a 3-pound package of flour, that they have themselves some sweet potatoes because we like sweet potato, that they also have themselves at least 4 conch already beaten and ready for cutting up, so that at whatever minute the water drops out of the sky, they can begin to put on display exactly how safe they are and to get the pot of soup going, because in this kind of weather, the only thing that matters most is that people, particularly hard-working men, can come home to a nice, big, tall, hot pot of peas soup. Why? Because anything else is just simply unacceptable. You cannot cook corned beef in this. This is just not corned beef weather. You cannot cook turkey, God forbid, in this. Because this just ain't staying turkey weather. When you come from the outside, especially if you are a hard-working man that works on the outside all day, particularly in the area of, drain clearing, roof repair, electrical installation, something that has something to do with the maritime industry, there's just absolutely no way that you should come home to a house that doesn't have soup in it. And if you come home to a house that doesn't have soup in it, then I implore you, my friend, to put the woman right outside where the soup is, since the soup ain't in the house. Anyway, we'll be back on Freedom March.
Fill up a box for all $30.
The new KFC Fill-Up Box, serving 6 juicy pieces of chicken, 4 buttery biscuits, crispy fries to share, and 12 premium original recipe KFC nuggets, all packed into one crave-worthy box. So dig in and do whatever the crunch you want with the KFC Fill-Up Box. Only at KFC, it's finger-licking good.
This is Freedom March. Again, you're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM, channel 224, channel 112, that's on Cable and Flow, and of course on ILTV Studios. As often, I'm joined in studio by the spiritual advisor, extraordinary, and plenipotentiary. He's Bradley Roll. I tell you, long breaks make you forget what your job is. He's Bradley Roll, and if Bradley Roll is with us, then that means we have Holy Scripture. So first of all, welcome back to Freedom March, spiritual advisor.
Yeah, thank you so much, Levi. Good to be here.
Long holiday.
What an interesting weekend indeed.
Yeah. What did you get into?
Listen, we could have gotten into, remember now,
It's a holiday.
I work outdoors,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a holiday.
But I mean, well, you could have been doing one bunch of indoor stuff.
Yeah, holidays are days that you, depending on which holiday it is, you spend with family and friends. Or you do activities, go to cookouts,
Indoor
beaches,
activities.
yeah, whatever. But there's just so much rain this weekend.
That's perfect for indoor activity,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. So, actually, you know, I sat around.
You don't remember what you did over the last 3 days?
I sat around the breakfast club at the McDonald's.
That's
in
also
Oakville.
outdoors.
Well, no, we congregate inside,
Okay.
and I just give somebody a free commercial. But yeah, we sit inside this eatery, and we sit down and we discuss. If it's not religion, then it's politics. One outdoor event was attempted, and 10 minutes into it,
God say no.
the rain washed it all away.
Yeah.
So all that nice food got washed away, and the pigeons enjoyed it, I guess, when the rain stopped. But I'm convinced, though, when you look at the streets after all the rain, it is possible that you could have a catastrophic flood if it rains for 40 days and 40 nights.
Okay.
Because just in a couple hours or well, minutes, the streets are impassable. Tony Williams, Darling Highway, University Boulevard, Pinewood, some parts of, there's some streets that are flooded in the Westridge area. I see the former Prime Minister taking a tour of the Kiskadee Road and the Yuma Estates and all the flooding there. So I'm convinced. I know a lot of folks tend to reject some of the theories and stories in the Bible, but if it rains on this island for 40 days and 40 nights, you would no longer have a New Providence. We would be underwater. Make no mistake about it. But yeah, the rain kind of stopped all the things. And it still is raining right to the day.
It is raining, but when I got
It's
here, it was raining.
amazing. Well, we hope it clears up at some point so I could get back.
They should also look
work.
at correcting some man-made blunders, though, right?
Yeah, there's
Like
some
the one in
issues.
South Beach, Barker's Roll, and who's the Mr. Wiggs?
Clay Sweden.
Yeah, this ain't difficult to figure out. South Beach Drive floods in one section.
South Beach Drive, where's that? South Beach Drive.
That's the main belt of South Beach.
That's the big road?
No,
Where the
that's
police station
Bogan
is?
Villa. No,
No, the south where the police station is and gas
no, that's
station.
East Street South.
No, the big bamboo. Oh, that's Bamboo Boulevard. There.
Right. South Beach Drive is the belt that takes you around the estate of South Beach.
The belt.
Yes. Why are you repeating after me? The belt.
I don't know. I haven't seen a South Beach Drive.
That's
There's actually a
perfect.
street named
That's
South Beach
perfect.
Drive.
We like to keep people who are not from South Beach out of South Beach.
Yeah,
That's how we
I have
keep
to
it
come to South
quiet.
Beach though.
No, we don't like visitors. So
I grew up in South Beach, man.
too bad. We didn't
Before
revoke
you,
that.
actually.
We revoked that.
I grew up in South Beach
and
in
since
the
I became
60s.
the mayor, we revoked that. You
Okay.
know how many people can't come back in South Beach?
Really?
Yeah. So put your application
beach?
back in. South Beach. Put your application back and we'll see what we can do for you. But along the belt of South Beach, right, Hubert Ingram's development created a problem. Jasmine Gardens is the reason South Beach Drive floods. And it is a simple matter of removing the berms, removing the whatever is in the way so that the water can go back into Jasmine Gardens. This is a very simple fix, right? Now, I don't know what you could do with the home for the elderly people, but, you know, that's the elderly people home. I'm saying to you that the house where I live is having a difficulty because of this development,
Okay.
and it's worsening as the time goes on and as less water flow is allowed into Jasmine Gardens. They might also have to put in some deep wells in Jasmine Gardens because the water runoff from Jasmine comes toward us, and the water from us can't go anywhere because it's blocked off trying to get into Jasmine Gardens. And so I want them to take a look at that, because at this point, I mean, the water has been standing still for 3 weeks now. And at some point, people are going to die because there's going to be some sort of infectious something that outbreaks. And I think that it is something that the Minister of Works should meaningfully come and have a look at.
Yeah, and of course, I failed to mention my very own neighborhood, which is in the Marshall Road, South Beach West area, where the water seems to flow from the sea across properties into the main road and then back over into properties that are on the north side of Marshall Road. It is. I have a video that I'm going to show folks. It is really, really terrible. I feel so bad. There's some people right now who can't get out of their homes because of the flood.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what the government is going to do, but it is something that needs to be looked at, because every time we have this rain issue, we're plagued with
And
this.
I also
this
want to say
problem.
to the minister, see, this is why if you're going to enter public life, you have to actually go read some newspapers that aren't the ones that you are in. You have to go and read ones from the past, right? Do you recall that when they resurfaced the airports at LPIA, they brought in this clay like stuff that they had heaped up for years and years and years by the airport that they used to put down on the airstrip? You remember that? The red dirt? You remember that stuff?
No, I don't remember the red.
Well, Glenys Anna Martin was the minister at the time, and they ordered one bunch of it.
Okay.
Find out from Glenys where we get that stuff from, because that's what they put on the airport. And the airport worked perfectly.
No
Right?
problem? The water find a way to what, run
No,
off?
no. This stuff packs better so that when you put the asphalt on it, the asphalt doesn't have these holes in it. Because I understand that you need a visa to come back out of some of these holes when you drop in there.
yeah,
Right? Like they're portals.
Quite a
Not
bit.
potholes, they're portals. And that is unfair. It is unfair to people that pay their taxes.
Yes,
It is
yes.
unfair to people that try to keep their vehicles at a
Certain
appreciable
standards,
standard.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so, Clay, it ain't our fault, you the minister. It just happens, this is your problem. And you have to fix it, because fixing it is why you were hired, right? And I'm not listening to these people who say, oh, we should find more modern ways. Some things don't need modernization. You could pump water. It's water. It was water in the flood of Noah and the Ark. Just pump the water. Just find places to pump the water.
Wow.
Pump it back in the ground. All you need to do is put a check valve on it so the water can't come back. Just keep pumping it in the ground until forevermore be if you have to. But we can't let it sit in the road. You follow me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so
we have some issues.
those are the pieces of advice that I have for them, Bradley. But we have Holy Scriptures. So tell
Yeah,
us,
we do.
what is the Holy Scripture have to
We're
say
gonna
with us?
go. Sorry, but we're gonna go to the book of Mark. We are at Mark, if I'm not mistaken, producer Mark 8. Read verses 34 to 38. The way of the cross, the way of the cross leads home. And then he called the crowd to him along with his disciples and said, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me and the gospel will save it. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world and yet forfeit their soul? Go ahead, producer. If you can change it for me. Or what would hold on. That's we at verse number 36. Let me just grab verse number 30 quickly. If anyone,
There it is. Or what can anyone give in exchange
Exchange.
for their soul?
right, if anyone is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of them when he comes in his Father's glory with the holy angels. Flip back for me, producer. I think this is the whole gist of this following Christ. And of course, the way of the cross. And Jesus says, I think the King James Version has a very, very catchy rendition of verse number 36. He says, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and yet lose his soul? And then Jesus looks at the value in this passage in verse number 37. What would a man give in exchange for his soul? So I guess the question is for all of us, how valuable is your soul? And it does seem as if from the passage that Jesus suggests that your soul really doesn't have a value. Because when you look at the world, its fleeting changes and how temporary it is, whatever you could achieve on this side is only for a while. So all of your achievements, whatever it is that you run after, however you decide to live your life, whatever it is you decide that you're going to have, you have to make up your mind if it's worth your soul. And if it isn't, then we follow the way of the cross, which is looking after the eternal aspect of our lives once we pass and we are on for reward from Jesus Christ. So no doubt, it's something for us to think about. How valuable is your soul? What is your soul worth? What if you do accomplish and achieve everything that life could afford? That is a milestone to think about it. But then when you look at the achievement, is it worth the one and only life you have if you should lose it, not following the way of the cross?
Wow.
So that's something to think about. Thank you so much, Producer Mark. Chapter 8, verse 34.
Wow, it's powerful scripture.
36, yeah, indeed.
Powerful scripture. What if you gain it all and lose the one thing that matters most? It's funny that you would read that, spiritual advisor. I'll tell you why. Over the weekend, I had this wonderful opportunity. As I like to do as often as I get the opportunity, I went into Cat Island this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And so I have to start off by saying hello
Cat
to
Island.
John Road, who I saw. Hello to Ezra Russell, who I saw. Hello to Philip Johnson, who extended an unparalleled level of courtesy to me. It is unmatched, right? And Bradley, you were with me in July.
Yeah, when we went
into Cat
on
Island.
assignment, yeah.
And it is funny because the entire time that I was in Cat Island, if I were a Baptist preacher, on Sunday, I would preach the text, what if Olympus falls, right? And I want the Prime Minister to be careful, Bradley. Because while I was in Cat Island, I watched the goings-on of the unions, whom we will talk about shortly, because I think that they are mercurial and they lack temperament. And if I were the Prime Minister, I would instruct my Minister of Labor to begin disassembling that union. And what I mean is, I would begin to ask the people that make up the public service to consider whether or not that is the behavior they want to represent them, because I don't think it yields good fruit. And so if I were the Minister of Labor, every single time I get on TV, I would say, and to the people that make up the public service, I invite you to continue to look at your representation and decide whether or not that representation represents who you are as an employee and as a person. Because we want to make sure that we are always only at the negotiation table with the people that represent your interests most. And I would say that every single time they cut on the TV and ask me about Kingsley, all right? Firstly, because I can't understand why is the president of the BPSU standing behind the president of another union while we talking about BPSU matters. That there to me in itself is something that would give me concern if I were a member of the BPSU. That aside, I think that the Prime Minister has masterfully taken the teeth out of the dog of this union fight. This dog has no more teeth. The Prime Minister quelled their little get-together on Bay Street the other day. The Prime Minister came out, met with them on the holiday, despite my thought that he wouldn't do so. He then turned around, gave them literature to read, and before they could get out the parking lot, he was able to cancel his meeting with them the next day because he knew that they would have the kind of behavior that was just unapologetic in its arrogance. If you come to the negotiation table, and this isn't about Cat Island, but I'm telling you that I agree with all of the steps taken by the Prime Minister to date. I think that he is masterfully handling this, right? The Prime Minister took the teeth out of the dog called the union in less than 48 hours. The union has no more momentum. Because what will they do now? Go and protest? Yeah, we know it's only 400 of you. And that is if you put the two unions together. Because it doesn't seem to me like the president of the BPSU enjoys the majority of the support of the members of the BPSU. That is just what I perceive based on what I see show up on Bay Street, based on what I see after the meeting with the Prime Minister, where it seems as though the president of BPSU is flying second chair, if you ask me. But despite that, despite the masterful politics, despite the presence of the Prime Minister on the international and regional platform, despite the fact that the economy is having upgrades, despite the fact that the Prime Minister can boast about expanding education, expanding access to education and funding for people that are entrepreneurs, etc., despite the fact that the Prime Minister can boast that he is improving international and regional relationships, despite the fact that the Bahamas is now in a position in 15 years to have its first U.S. ambassador, despite the fact that the Prime Minister leads the charge on global warming and its funding for small island development states in the region, I've been to Cat Island.
Okay.
And Cat Island is exactly the way it was when me and you leave in July.
Right. Cat Island is not moving. I mean,
What
to
will
say
it
the least.
profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Can you imagine how cataclysmic it would be for Philip Edward Davis to have performed in the role of Prime Minister the way he has, easily eclipsing his predecessor, in performance? Because Christie will always have Bahama. That will always be the crown in his, the jewel in his crown. No one will ever be able to take that away from Christie. It's probably going to be the last big thing around here for the next 100 years. But to watch Philip Davis choreograph politics as masterfully as he is doing, there isn't an opponent yet in politics in the last 5 years that can say that they've beat Philip Davis. His politics is immaculate, Bradley.
okay.
But what would it profit this man to gain the love, the admiration, and the confidence of the world, and for him to lose the affinity of Cat Island, Bradley? That is the question I'm asking you today. I'm opening the phone lines early because I want to talk to people about it. This is Freedom March. We'll be back right after this break.
This is Freedom March.
This is Freedom March. Welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm Leland Miller. Bradley Roll, the spiritual advisor extraordinary and plenipotentiary, is with me. Bradley.
So what are you suggesting?
I am unhappy to report this.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. And it is much to my chagrin, Bradley, that I see the building material, I see the smoke coming from the asphalt plant, I see this bunch of truck moving up and down, but Bradley, I've driven the length of this island, and I regret to inform that much of the island is worse than when we left in July.
Well, what progress do you see? Do you see any progress at all?
I think they paved about 2.5 miles of road.
Yeah, because the last time we were there, when you exit the airports,
Right. They paved about 1,000 feet of road in each direction.
you're heading into New Bight.
New Bight.
Right? They were working along that road doing
Yes.
some paving. Now, how
Yes.
did they get into New
They
Bight?
did not touch another piece past that.
No.
No. They went north. And so they went north of the airport road in North Kidd Island, which is Arthurstown. Right? And they went... do you know where the little creek is in Orange Creek? By the Orange Creek Shopping Plaza or Shopping Center. The little orange and white place that they call a shopping center.
It's on the
right-hand side of the street.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just about, I would say, about a half a mile, maybe a mile beyond that. Right?
That's paved.
Right. And so the pavement comes back to about as far as, I don't remember the name of the little watering hole that I was in. But it certainly is right past what they would call, what Kidd Islanders would refer to as Dickey Road. I don't know why the road's named Dickey Road, but it's Dickey Road, right? That was since July, Bradley.
So what's the issue though? Is it materials?
I don't care what
is
the
it
issue
the contract? Is it money?
What I know is that material is on the ground, equipment is on the ground,
Okay.
manpower is on the ground, and it is the Prime Minister's constituency. And remember I told you that we have had quite striking resemblances between what has been going on in our politics and what has happened in the politics of Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
And Andrew Holness lost 30-something% of his seat margin in the parliament.
Yeah.
And he was in a fight for his life in large sections of his constituency, right? I get it. It's a first past the poll system. If you beat him by one, God be praised.
Yeah, you beat him.
But something made me think, Bradley. The great juggernaut, Perry Gladstone Christie, was excavated from his seat of 40 years. Luckily, the PLP also lost. On its current track, I'm not a prophet, but I am firm in my belief that except the FNA pulls off a landslide or an upset, the Progressive Liberal Party will return to office. What will the PLP do if Olympus falls?
If Kidd Island goes F&M.
And I'm telling you, now, I will tell you what also came to my mind, because I'm not, or I try not to be, because you shouldn't say it about yourself, I try not to be myopic in my view and opinion. And I am well aware that when Prime Minister Ingram took on the Nassau Development Roadwork Project, that caused great anxiety, great trauma,
a lot of issues. Yeah.
great, you name it.
Business losing, revenue closing down.
What I'm also aware of is 18 months after Ingram lost the election, Bahamians far and wide began to say, man, thank God Papa do
Yeah,
this.
it was a massive thing. Yeah.
If it wasn't for Papa,
wouldn't-
I couldn't imagine driving Nassau.
Yeah.
People actually still say that today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guess what, Bradley? It was a day late and $1 short. And in politics,
Because he lost.
there is no second place trophy, you know that?
Yeah, no.
Politics is like boxing.
You win or you lose.
Politics is like boxing, my friend. You don't get a runner-up trophy for it.
No.
All right? And so, maybe something brilliant is happening in San Salvador. What I know is I don't see it in the news cycle. If you got one hotel in San Salvador and you'd like for me to come check it out, please feel free to call marketing and book Freedom March, and we will go live on remote for 1 week out of San Salvador, and then I could come tell the truth about San Salvador. Or Rumkey. You want to go to Rumkey?
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
But now, which part of his constituency he would be favored to get more of the votes?
I suspect the place that he was born, Cat Island,
Canada, that's where most of the votes are.
where his grandfather was a farmer. Isn't that what the commercial said?
Okay.
And I'm saying to you, Bradley, that even if you say, well, Brave could afford to lose the North because the South is where he wins.
Right.
Bradley, I've been all the way to Porthouse. Bradley, I've been all the way to Porthouse.
Nothing has changed since July.
It has actually worsened.
Wow.
And back to the point, I am not naive. Men with foresight will look at Cat Island and know that in the next term of a Philip Davis-led PLP, Cat Island will swell by leaps and bounds because of the work that is going on. But I'm not sure that the top chair will be able to get away with telling the people of Cat Island what he is delivering for them after 5 years versus telling them what he has delivered for them. Mr. Prime Minister, we got to born this baby. Breach, bite or not, we have to born this baby. Because, Bradley, we running out of space in the cervix and the baby losing oxygen. So even if we kill this mother, we have to born this baby.
Yeah, but at this stage of the game is almost too late, though. When you really look at it,
Bradley, we got a year.
it's almost too late.
Bradley, we got a year. And you got the union them screaming at you for money you ain't promised them. At this point, if I were the Prime Minister, I would be preparing to rescind that offer.
Either that or just say, listen, we don't have the money, just be upfront.
Spend the $17 million in your constituency. Because I'm telling you that the constituency's condition is becoming deplorable. And they can't lie to me, Bradley, because I see it.
Yeah, you witness it. You should have taken some photos.
And so I didn't want to do that. Because I'm an FNA, and as an FNA, I don't have time to focus on the PLB's business.
Well, I mean, you did that. You did.
No, but I went down there to see my friend Philip Johnson. I didn't go down there
and
to
while
see
there,
what Brave is doing.
Yeah, but while you stumble on some things.
And that's why I ain't take no picture, because then they can say I gossiping and I want gossip.
Nah, we be doing it now.
I'm telling you what I find, Bradley.
Pictures is worth 1,000 words, you know.
I just want to tell you. But I'm saying to you, Bradley, I need the PLP to begin to consider, because I see them building a dream team, right?
Okay.
Man, they got people, even the pastor one case out on this team. So this is obviously a team that is getting people's attention, right? That they're obviously viable and something that people everywhere are taking note of.
Okay.
Okay? So everybody who got a pulpit have at least 6 people they preach to every Sunday. And if you got the mind of the preacher, you're doing a good job, because he got the ears of about at least 6 people, his wife and 2 children. Some of these fellas ain't got no big church. But the ones who got big church also have the ears of those people. What I'm saying to you, Bradley, is what if, after all this masterful execution, an uptick in tourism, public service pay increase, 4 as a matter of fact, right, over the period of the last 4 years, promotions that are unprecedented, an economy that has moved for the first time in my recollection from a B- rating to a B+ rating, right? What if the Prime Minister accomplishes all of this? The Progressive Liberal Party returns to office, but Olympus falls. Whose direction will we be taking?
Oh, that's an interesting question. But the reality, though, and this is a question I always ask myself, you have members of parliament who serve as MPs and also cabinet ministers.
Sure.
And there are times when one is lacking. Now, how do you pick someone who can basically function and get the same results as an MP and a cabinet minister?
I don't know.
Because at times it doesn't. And in this case, this is a prime
But what I do
example.
know, but I will tell you what I do know. What I do know is that every member that sits before the candidates committee, and I only know this because I happen to have a fly in a room in the air-conditioned vent who listens to the vibration of the vent and then tells me what happens, right? So you all will never know my source. But what I do know is everybody that sits before the candidates committee, particularly those that are incumbents, have to make the case for why they should continue. And I am of the view. Whose view is this?
This is,
This is the gospel according to
yeah,
Leon,
Levinism.
that if the prime minister were not the prime minister, a what do you call them? Constituency committee may have had a difficulty with what it is I see on the ground in Cat Island. Now, men with vision will look at Cat Island and see it as the ground being full of seed and waiting on rain. Yeah? You get the metaphor?
Okay,
now?
okay.
In about 5 to 7 years, if all of this stuff pops out of the ground,
Yeah.
Philip Davis will go down for eternity
If he's still around.
as the greatest member of parliament they've ever had. My daddy has always said to me, though, you cannot brag about how good you could grow grass if you have a yard full of dying cows, my friend. You get that? You've got to figure out how to balance your grass growing
Right, and that's my
with your
point.
cow feeding.
So what if he decides, does he really have to be the Minister of Finance?
He doesn't. Hubert Minnis was the prime minister without portfolio.
Right. And so you figure out where do you sacrifice as far as maintaining your position as a good MP? I mean,
I'm telling you,
what do you do?
I'm telling you that every indicator that I use points me that the election will be in May. That is 7 months from today. Right?
Me?
The prime minister is going to have something to go to the people of Cat Island with. Now, I'm no airport builder. My mommy didn't send me to airport building school, so I don't know nothing but building airport.
Yeah.
But from my position of incompetence, can I admit that?
Well, you can do that.
Boy, they can need a magic wand to finish that airport in 6 months.
Which one?
Any one of them. They can need a magic wand to get it done.
Well,
How will the people were sitting in the rain when I come here.
well, listen, he can use this argument that there's an old Chinese proverb that says, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Or he could use the proverb of my good friend Mr. Ramsey and say,
So
if we
he's
keep this up,
start.
when the contuberance hit the perpendicular, my friend, the feces will be everywhere. All right?
He can say, I
No,
started.
I
I started.
want to give PLPs something to think about. It is fun to say that you will ride the wave with Brave because that sound good. Safe with Brave sound good. And I agree. If he was king and didn't require the will of the electorate. But he's not king.
He is the Prime Minister.
He's not king. And as a consequence, he requires the will of the people to enjoy the power that he wields as prime minister.
So now, what message are you sending to him?
I send no message to him. He's the prime minister. I'm not allowed to talk to the prime minister. He don't pay me. Right?
But you made some observations in Cat Island that you feel can very well hurt him in a couple of months.
And all I'm saying is, I want to speak into the consciousness of all people of right-thinking mental capacity. What if Olympus falls?
Well, that's something to think about.
Where will they go from there?
Well, we do see something in the horizon.
Have they considered number one? He's going to be too young. He's going to be too young and not PLP.
Yeah, it does. Well, it does. seem
No,
as
no,
if-
no, 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 no. You have to understand the way. Listen to me. You never heard the old song in church, some through the water, some through the flood, some through the fire, but all through the blood. You ever heard that?
Yeah.
Well, in the PLP, the same principle applies, my friend. You don't just walk through the
Oh,
door
yeah?
and be leader.
It don't either way.
No, we've proven that over and over and over. What the lawyer fella the name? Paul what? Him, who tried to become leader of the PLP. You don't even remember his name.
Paul.
Yeah. You see how you don't even remember his name?
Not Paul Morthy.
You see how you don't even remember his name?
What's his name?
That's his name.
Paul Morthy?
Mhm.
They chop his head off?
That's what will happen to you, my friend. That is what will happen to you in the PLP.
but what if you got gold?
You could have frankincense and myrrh.
Well, listen.
That don't matter.
If you got gold,
You could have frankincense and myrrh.
I believe if you got gold,
You could have frankincense and myrrh.
listen. If you got gold, you could roll. This is what I believe.
You sound like you was campaigning for Bakassi. I don't want you and your brother-in-law or your cousin-in-law coming here with these slick campaigns.
If you got gold, you can
Saying to
roll,
you,
man.
Bradley, is the Progressive Liberal Party has got to begin to figure out two things. How will they throw their weight to support a 74-year-old candidate? Because that is ultimately what he comes back to whenever the bell is rung, you know. He's not prime minister anymore. Once the bell rings, he is a candidate.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So now you've got to
everyone.
figure out, how are you going to rally behind a 74-year-old candidate to help him win his seat? Or begin to contemplate, what do you do if Olympus falls, Bradley?
They will survive. They will survive.
As long as they know how to love, they know they stay alive.
I know this is a big if too, because it's in the past. So if the PLP had won when Christie lost,
Mm-hmm.
it just means that a new leader would have to emerge from the Progressive Liberal Party.
We would have to hope.
No, I mean,
The question then
it
becomes,
simply means that.
the question then becomes who? Because here you are telling me about a fellow who joined the PLP 2 days ago.
But it does.
So who?
It does seem as if
Obi Dead, Fred Ole, who else?
you got a lot of men in there
Then name them.
who could possibly lead.
She didn't say he retired. Who else?
Yeah, that's true. And the pot kicking ain't no more.
Michael Alcides can. We ain't sure he could win a seat.
Well,
We ain't sure.
but he's a good candidate.
I mean, he could win.
Um,
You got to could win. Who? And don't say Brave can't lose, because Brave lose in 97. Who?
they'll have to train someone.
Who?
No doubt.
When we say
Well,
Brave, Kim on.
Look at Barkas. I mean, Barkas
You want Barkas to be the prime
he's
minister?
making some waves.
You want to be prime minister?
There's some things he has to do to get there.
So Barkas,
But he's a Bahamian.
Mm-hmm.
He's working hard. He's in the PLP.
he tall, you always could put that in.
Well, height.
You could always put that in. Only short people don't feel like being tall is a plus.
Well, the same as if most of our best prime ministers were short. That's the way it seems.
Okay. Yeah, the tall one was really horrible. My God. We should take that criteria out. Oh, if you're tall, don't apply.
Yeah, you got Ingram.
Yeah, please don't. Yeah,
got
thank you. That was good
Prime,
advice.
yeah, so Lyndon
Who?
Bellin.
Who, Bradley?
I'll have to look at all the men in the Progressive
If Olympus
Party.
falls, that drastically changes the
The party will
layout.
move on, though. The party will move on from that. It'll be
Mitchell-
a heavy blow.
Fred Mitchell is quoted last week in the news as saying that Philip Davis has done one thing in 4 years that several prime ministers have not had the ability to do. That is, he's been able to manage the party in such a way that no one has defected from the party. You recall him saying that last week in the press?
No, I don't really follow.
I'll see if I can find the clip.
Yeah.
That means that what exists in the PLP today is the brainchild of Philip Edward Davis. The synergy is the efforts of Philip Edward Davis. The camaraderie is at the behest or at the massaging of egos and emotions done by Philip Edward Davis. But Bradley, I just leave Cat Island.
Well, it does seem as if this is a subtle warning, I guess, to the Member of Parliament for Cat Island that
Men with
seems as if
vision.
you got to buckle up.
Men with vision will go there and see that the future looks bright.
But
In 5 years, Philip Davis will more than likely go down as the best member of parliament that Cat Island has ever had in 5 years.
that's if these projects really.
Yeah, if
Come
the
on the
FNM
ground.
don't win and stop review and cancel all, like the clinic would still ain't finish, right? In Orange Creek, or the one down in the south that the FNM stop reviewed and cancelled, right? With roof on it. But the FNM does that kind
Yeah,
of
that
stuff.
don't make any sense. I mean, it's,
Right?
if it's for the good of the country or the.
What I'm asking you though, Bradley, is how do they put that? See, because I think the death of Vaughn Miller has proven something, that politics is instant. And that you have to calculate all of the eventualities. And in the event that Olympus falls, what we cannot have is a government that is dysfunctioning because the head is off.
Yeah, well, there's always a backup plan.
Who?
There's always a backup plan, no doubt. We could probably ask the public.
And
But
so,
the handwriting's on the wall then.
I wasn't looking at no wall.
I wonder who can read it or understand what it means.
I wasn't looking at no wall.
No?
No.
But something is going on in Cat Island that caused you to bring it back to the show.
Yeah, because Bradley, I like to tell the truth.
Okay.
The one thing you could always be confident of, where the camera that would looking at me.
Yeah.
The one thing you could always be confident of is that I am going to tell the truth. I like
Hope
the
so,
old woman
man.
to the woman funeral what I've been
The
to.
truth sets everything free.
And I have no horses in the race, so I like to give people things to consider. And the great consideration becomes, what if? What if? This close, what if?
Wow.
And you cannot say that these things are impossible because there have been possibilities
Yeah, it
before.
happened before.
What if
What if what?
Olympus falls?
You saw that movie?
Of course.
Olympus has fallen.
Gerald Butler is my favorite white man, by the way.
Olympus has fallen.
Yeah.
Who's
So,
gonna be the savior though?
You would have to tell me, Bradley, because I don't know. What I know is that it would change the way the government functions. So all of the good things we have enjoyed from this government, right? Teachers and their increments every year, promotions every year. I understand that there's a promotion set for November 1st, by the way. FYI. FYI, all of my friends who get promoted November 1st, I like when you wet the rank, eh? All right? The wind told me that.
Let's see.
But Bradley, now we could go back to the unions. The government got promotions planned for the 1st of November. And these people striking. You can't strike and get promotion at the same time. Eh?
Yeah, but somebody says you've forgotten that if Olympus does fall, that Chester is up next.
That's if he's PLP enough. Is he?
Well, I mean, he sits at the right hand of the Prime Minister.
But you know, sometimes the deputies get shoot with the sheriff. Now,
No,
personally,
sometimes they shoot the sheriff, but they don't shoot the deputy.
personally, I think that would be the automatic choice. The question becomes, how does that alter the way that the government looks?
Well, maybe if you look at what has been happening over the last couple of weeks, days, maybe the Prime Minister is saying what you're saying, and he has now decided to checkmate the PLP with what we saw happen a couple of days ago.
Which was,
Who knows? That there's a very popular man who decides that he is going to get in frontline politics. I believe there's an end game to that. And who knows? It could be.
is this prophetic?
It could be. Now, I'm not a prophet. I always tell you that. I'm not a prophet. But I can't predict.
So this may be gas telling you this.
I can't predict, though, that I've studied people over the years and I look at their potential and what they aim for. I don't see this man just wanting to become a member of parliament. I don't
No,
see
he
that.
could be a cabinet minister.
I don't see that either.
He could become.
That cannot be the ultimate.
He could become ambassador of the CARICOM.
That cannot be the ultimate intention or goal. Not a man who has accomplished so much in life. There has to be something bigger than that. So maybe
You also know that
they decided to let him
You
in.
also know that the possibility of becoming opposition exists.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you have to calculate the whole game.
Right, and if the possibility of opposition does exist, and the PLP loses the election, and this man wins his seat, if you look at the restructuring of it, he could emerge.
Sure. But
And the next 5 years, who knows? He could be sitting right
Yeah.
where that seat is now.
sure, but if Snake
That's
had
the
bigger
scenario.
breasts, but if Snake had bigger breasts, you'd probably have snake milk inside the food store. However, they do not. So,
And if your auntie
okay,
was a male, she'd have been your uncle.
okay.
So that's a big F.
In the game of if, we could hyperbolize, is the word? Yes. These arguments forever. Those ones, in my view, are based on nothing. The hyperbolic argument I take with Olympus is I've seen the place, my brother. Based on what I see, there could be great possibility that Olympus falls. Don't move.
Wow.
Freedom March will be right back.
This is Freedom March.
Hello, thank you for staying with us through the break. I'm Levan Miller. Bradley Rowell, the spiritual advisor extraordinary and plenipotentiary, is with me. And well, Bradley, now that I've done enough of that, I want to go to what I think about the unions. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, we
You want to do some birthdays first?
yeah, we got a birthday, one or two birthdays, I believe, and some anniversaries, but you can go until I get confirmation on them. You can,
Sure.
we can move on.
All right.
Oh, great king,
Live forever.
the handwritings on the wall.
Live forever.
Call all the magicians and to see who can read.
Bradley, what?
The handwriting
What is this?
is on
What
the
is
wall.
this? This
Oh,
sounds
great
like
king,
blasphemy.
there's a man
Yeah.
whose God is greater than all gods. He can read the writing.
Oh wow. So again, I was in Cat Island. I think all of the people that I saw down there were wonderful. But I also had the wonderful occasion of watching the Prime Minister again take the teeth out of the dog of the union. And if I were the Minister of Labour, I would subtly call for his members to consider whether or not that is who they want to lead them. Let me tell you why. In the last 4 years, Bradley, my information is that no fewer than 9. You got that?
No fear than nine.
Unions have formed outside of the BPSU. Let me
The
be fair.
Bahamas Public Services Union.
About 7 is what is the safe number to call, but about no fewer than 9. Right? Which lets me know that the public servants have no confidence in Kingsley.
Well,
Unions continue to form outside of his union. Right?
okay.
He also has a public service sector made up of, I think it is 25,000 people or there's about.
Actually, I don't know how big the numbers are, but I know they are kind of huge.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, 25,000. 25,000. Can I tell you how many votes Kingsley Ferguson got in the last election?
Out of 25,000?
No. There aren't 25,000 members.
Oh.
But see, even that in itself concerns me.
How many votes did he get compared
724.
to? And what were the possibility of?
I think the union is about 3,000 or 3,200 members.
So what happened?
This is my
Who
point.
showed up to vote?
No one.
So who's the closest person?
The closest person behind him has something like 507 votes. It is a man by the name of Alexander Burrows, who I am summoning, right, to get up off your laurels and go and convince these people that Kingsley must go.
But if the closest person was 300 and something.
507.
Five. Okay, 5. Okay. All right.
Followed by John Pinder,
kinda
who
close.
should not have entered that race at 322.
Why did John go into that race anyhow?
I don't know. He must like these beatings because he
Either
took
that-
one in Fox Hill and then turn around and get this beating from his deputy. You know, this is deputy who beat him.
Wow.
Deputy, you shouldn't beat your chief like that, right? But what I'm saying is John could have very well thrown his support behind Mr. Burrows.
Yeah, so they don't want John. Definitely not John.
Or they don't want him back. But I'm saying to you that the Prime Minister, say what you want about him, 74 years old, fine. The Prime Minister somehow in his wisdom quelled their... I can't imagine that 400 people will show up out there tomorrow. I hear that they're going to have another march tomorrow. The wind tell me that
it
as
does
well.
seem so, yeah.
The wind told me that as well.
That
It won't
something's going
matter.
on.
And I pray for rain.
Okay.
I want them wet like a soggy pampas in the grove. I pray for rain. Because I don't like to see foolishness, Bradley. There has been adjustments in the pay scale over the entire course of this administration. There have been promotions annually over the course of this administration.
Yeah, but the Prime Minister still says that he sees where there were instances where certain...
But they have been
Members of
getting
the public
money
service.
annually. The minimum wage was increased in this 4-year window.
from 210 to 260.
Bradley, an increase is an increase.
$50.
An increase is an increase, Bradley.
Remember now, you don't live in that category, so...
You don't know where I
know.
live. I might be out there picking peas out of a place you shouldn't pick peas
Yeah,
from.
I mean, you know, so sometimes we gotta have empathy, you know.
And I'm saying to you, Bradley, that the Prime Minister understands one concept that I learned from my grand auntie. My grand auntie said, never watch your neighbor's son Because what you will learn over time, Bradley, is that 1-1 this do what? You ain't had no grenadier.
No.
1 peas could full basket, Bradley.
I mean, yeah, if you get more peas, 1 peas.
1 peas this full basket.
Yeah, but you got to keep getting 1 peas though.
But you just keep getting 1. And the point I'm making to you is that they have continued to put a little something towards the improvement of employment. And do you know that the salary review is something that is at least a decade old?
Okay.
That's 2 prime ministers ago. You realize that has nothing to do with Philip Davis? You realize that has nothing to do with Pierre Glover?
Okay.
And all I'm saying, Bradley, is the Prime Minister met with you on a holiday while he had 500, and how much people he had on his list? Man, you all please, not for my sake, for God's sake, don't give out this much national honor. 500 people waiting by Mount Fitzwilliam on him, or wherever they was waiting. The Governor General, I mean, Jesus Christ. This old woman must stand up all day and give out little neck medal? All day? And now you want the Prime Minister to also keep her waiting? Just so you all could talk about something that wasn't in your negotiation contract.
Yeah, and
Alexander Burrows, I'm telling you, go take this union from this man. And Pierre Glover roll. Every time they stick a camera in your face and ask you anything about this president, you have to reply, I simply want his members to decide whether or not this is the best representation of them that they could find. Because people in the BPS, you have to start to consider that. How is it that you have a president who didn't ask the government for money, turns around, the government promises money, and then he tells you to strike for money he ain't asked for?
I think she did say it was a part of negotiation. She did say that.
Previous negotiations.
Yeah, she did say that.
Previous negotiations.
Now, what I'm thinking though, is that when they went into that meeting yesterday, I think they should have allowed the meeting today to come to fruition.
That is my point. How do you come out of a meeting that we acted in good faith, right? The government is already ahead in this race because, and Mr. Prime Minister, you don't pay me for advice, but let me tell you what I would do if I were Prime Minister. You ready for this, Bradley?
Go ahead.
I would publish the name of every single person I didn't give money to, and I'd put it in the newspaper.
I don't know if you know.
What you mean? They public funds.
Yeah, but no, you don't.
I ain't listening to you.
You don't want to put people in that kind of predicament.
Why not?
No, man, come on.
I say put the amount. Here is the list of, see, because Bradley, you can't play possum. You with your effing himself, you done take the government money and you sitting there playing possum, sitting on your hands and acting like you ain't done get it, your name will be in the newspaper.
Now you're playing politics now.
But it is politics, dear Watson.
Wow.
And we just put people's name in the newspaper for less. Here is a list of everybody that's already been affected. And I put your name in the newspaper. It's public funds. What you mean? What you mean I can't put their name in the newspaper? Every brute and his brother. Why you laughing? I'm very serious.
Yeah, you would lose popularity doing that.
How?
That's not the way it's done.
Who say that?
Well,
Bradley, when I finish, I'll have a 4-page. Whatever the newspaper people over there will make loan money off of me. Because for 1 whole month, every time you open up the newspaper, it'll be a list of the Negroes that have already gotten money in this exercise. We put people name in the newspaper for less. I ain't say tell the people how much they get.
yeah, I understand.
I ain't say tell the people when they get it. We already know when that is.
Okay, thanks.
And another thing I have to ask you, Bradley.
Thanks, cuz. Hold on a second.
The president of the BUT has said that they want the money to be paid in October. I like Belinda.
Yeah, well, see now.
Belinda is one of my favorite people.
See what I don't understand.
I think her husband is immaculately brilliant. Here is what I want to know though. What measurement is Belinda using? The money should be paid in October. Based on what rubric? What calculation? What quadratic equation? What anything have you used to come to the conclusion that they need the money in October? How did you come to the conclusion that money you didn't know you was getting in January, you need in October?
I think they should allow the government to live their promise out.
That's my point.
They should have done it.
Because at this point, y'all saying all y'all want to do is strike. And if all y'all want to do is strike, my brother, I hope you all wear up your shoe and they boys on Bay Street. Because I wouldn't even talk to them anymore if I was the Prime Minister.
Right, and so so now the government, I think, is basically sending a message that the unions can't push them around.
Not that, Bradley. The government realizes that this dog has no teeth. Kemsley can't get 500 people on Bay Street.
But remember now, there's still concern for the public service, and the government, no doubt, will have to tread lightly, because if they lose the public service, then they would lose the
This
election.
president can't get 500 people on. Me and the other fella, who were just regular fellas, put 2,000 people on Bay Street.
Right, but if the government still does not handle this properly, they could lose more than 500.
Bradley, they can't get 500 people on Bay Street out of 25,000 people.
Well, I guess everybody can't come. Some people got to sit on the
And
job.
the fella has had no fewer than 7 or 9 unions defect from under his leadership.
Well, I hear you.
You know what that
I hear
means,
you.
Bradley? He doesn't enjoy the majority support of the public service.
Okay.
It is as simple as that. That's
Okay.
basic mathematics.
Okay, so that's your theory. But they are planning a march again tomorrow. To go
You want to
down
put a
that.
6-bear bet that there ain't gonna be 500 people?
Yeah, but listen, we ain't.
Hold on, that was a 6-bear bet?
So hold on. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something else. Go ahead. What'd you say?
You want to put a 6-bear bet that ain't gonna be 500 people? I take in 6-bear bets. You can call me for us with a 6-bear bet that they will not have 500 people out there tomorrow.
Okay, so we're getting word. We don't know how true it is, but it is possibly confirmed that the Prime Minister is going to speak to the nation tonight at 8 o'clock.
That is confirmed. That was released on Office of the Prime Minister's page.
Producer, okay, so we have to put it up? Do we have to put it up?
Sure, if you want to put it up.
Producer, could you put that up for me, please? Where there's something came out the Office of the Prime Minister that apparently there is going to be the Prime Minister is
Going to speak to the
is
nation.
going
at
to
8
speak to the
o'clock.
nation.
Do you understand? Do you know why?
Why?
The
I'm trying to figure out-
Prime Minister realizes that there are more public servants not with Kemsley than are with Kemsley. So you let this small bunch of people make noise till they throat hurt. And then you go and you talk to the other people who obviously want to be reasonable, and you say to them, I bring in the money.
Producer, I know we're a bit delayed, but do you have it tonight? The Prime Minister, Philip Davis, will deliver a national address at 8 p.m.
I thought you had this, Bradley. You don't have it?
Yeah, I have it. The address will be carried live on local television and radio networks and streamed across the Office of the Prime Minister's official social media platform. So members of the public are encouraged to tune in. No doubt this is going to be very interesting. So 8 o'clock tonight, the Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip
And what do you
Brave
suspect
Davis.
he's going to come and say?
I don't know. This
But
is
the money
interesting.
coming in December.
This is
His
interesting.
message won't change, Bradley.
But I'm sure he's going to have something else to say beside that.
No, he's coming to say, hey, the union agreements were for 3 years and not 5 years like they typically are. The government has done every single thing that we told the unions we would do when we agreed. That's why they're striking 4 years. After that, the government realized that there was more things that we wanted to get done because we like to overachieve. With our overachieving self, we promised you all some money. We paid out the first set of people because that was 1/3 of what it would take to pay the majority of the people. So we paid them first, the government collecting revenue, and we will pay the rest of y'all in December.
but there's a great-
Thank you all very much for turning on your TV. Good night.
But there's a greater issue to have.
What could be the greater issue, Bradley?
Well, we're close to a by-election or a general election.
You're starting to sound like Michael Bentard to me now.
It isn't that. It is reality. We also, producer, you didn't put up the notice from the Office of the Prime Minister, but we're also understanding that the Speaker of the House has or will be formally informing the Governor General
of the death of the minister.
Right. And then once she does that, then the countdown is on. The government then has 60 days to inform the Governor General. Well, once she does that, then the Governor General will give a writ, right?
Yeah.
Informing the government that the vacant seat has to be filled within a certain time frame. I believe the reason why the Prime Minister is going to address this issue tonight is because he recognizes what is at stake.
What is at stake?
There's a bigger fish to fry.
What is the big fish? Golden Isles?
And how are you going to win Golden
You might
Isles?
as well just keep reading the
If you
Bible.
lose, if you lose public support.
Golden Isles is not a foothold for this government.
Okay, so they could lose Golden Isles and still win the government.
I wouldn't even contest it. I've told you that.
Okay.
And if I did
All right,
contest it, I would run Leslie Miller.
so Golden Isles is a non-factor.
Not for this administration, no.
Yeah. So they don't need Golden Isles.
Not that they don't need Golden Isles. It's a first past the post race. I'm saying I wouldn't concern myself with Golden Isles.
So they could lose
I would
it.
concern myself.
They could lose Golden Isles and still win the election.
Anything could happen. Once you
Okay,
get
let
your
the
call.
F&M have it then.
Yes, I'd let them have it.
Let the F&M have Golden Isles.
I'd let them have it. You remember they already lose one. So if they gain one, it would be of no consequence.
Well, I don't know.
Here's a better question.
I don't know if they agree with
Here's
you
a
on
better
that.
question. Here's a better question, Bradley. You ready for this?
Go ahead.
What happens if the PLP doesn't contend Golden Isles and then the COI beats the F&M in Golden Isles? The goose would be cooked, and I would let that happen to them if I was the PLP. Because if you can't beat Lincoln, my brother, you think you could beat me?
Okay. That's a big if, okay?
If you can't beat Lincoln,
Yeah, it's a big if.
you think you could beat me?
Yeah, that's a big if.
You all go ahead and fight down there. I busy governing.
In your league, eh?
I busy governing. I know if none of you all ever had chance to govern. Government take plenty time. You please go ahead. When this is a by-election, you all go have that. I got government to do. And when Lincoln...
That's not good politics.
What you
The
mean?
government of Bahamas will not walk away from Golden Isles.
What
they
you mean?
will contest it.
Bradley,
They will contest.
Bradley, what are you talking
They
about?
don't have to, right? They don't have to.
They don't have to contest Golden Isles.
Okay. Okay.
And is it not in good PLP form to not contest seats? They've done it many times. Did in Long Island, did in Bamboo Town. The PLP does that. The PLP decides, we ain't gonna contest that. This is one of the, first of all, who the candidate could be?
I think they probably already made up their minds who they would run.
Don't waste a candidate. Don't waste a candidate. Because whoever you run in this,
Hold on. Go ahead.
you're putting them at an unfair advantage, Bradley. Or let Sabas run because he got enough money to go twice.
Okay.
And so long for the people in Fort Charlotte, right?
Okay.
But that's politics. Politics. And you know something, the spirit just came to me, Bradley. Then came the spirit of the Lord unto Levi. And for the people who say, you know, that we're insensitive about talking about Golden Isles, I'll tell you something else. You know, the PPSU Secretary General dropped down dead, and they even ain't taking time off from their actions to honor the death of the Secretary General.
Okay.
A man who I know wanted to be president. Because he's been in my office enough times and has told me he can't wait till Kimsey leaves so he can be the president. Right? And all I'm saying is, politics is fluid, Bradley. It happens every day. You can't take a break from it. You have to continue to strategize for it. You have to make sure that you always are one step ahead because like boxing, it ain't no second place in politics. Politics is one of the few sports that don't come with a second place trophy. And BBL, I hear that the light's still off in South Beach. Man, that light been off all day, man. For God's sake.
You see what happened? What really happened as you're heading Blue Hill Road North. After you pass Zion Boulevard, you head on Blue Road North. You come to the light, Zion Boulevard and Blue Hill, and you head north. A pole collapsed.
The pole is diet.
About 300 or 400 feet from Zion Boulevard heading north. So PEC has to take up that pole, put in a new one. They should have done. I think it takes 4 hours, but folks been complaining about more than 8 to 12 hours without electricity. So anyhow,
Yeah, it's been a long time, and my
BPL
friends
correct
are
it.
without light, and I want y'all to fix that for them, because man, you know. But I did see the truck out there today, on my way in, and yeah. And so Bradley, under this administration over the last 4 years, right? Public servants have all had increases in salary. That's why they ain't been striking, and that is whether they are BUT, BNU, BEMU, BCIAWU, and the BPSU. Then tell me, and some of these come out of the BPSU. You realize that, right?
Okay, the public
So
service.
tell me what Kimsley them to be downtown making noise for.
Well, they say they're acting in good faith on behalf of the people. So
but their actions in the news right after the meeting with the Prime Minister proves that they wasn't acting in good faith.
I give them flaws for that.
And you can't represent me if you intend to behave that way.
They should have waited. They preempted the whole...
And what, Kinsley, you know, we about to throw you out of the Auckland Strongman Association, you know, because why you hiding behind this woman? I almost couldn't tell.
But they're two separate unions, right?
Yes.
I guess they're working together.
My foot them this way together. Why I can't look at the TV and distinctively tell who is the president of BPSU?
Because Belinda is the pit bull.
Well, you might say
No,
John
sorry.
Union.
So let me retract that term. Sorry. Belinda is the one who's at the forefront.
Well, then join
Forgive
the
me.
union.
Forgive me.
Hey,
Forgive me, madam.
There's no need to get
I'm sorry.
emotional.
I'm sorry.
Then just join her union. Roll the BPSU into the BUT. Simple. Not a problem fixed. And y'all could be the BPUTSU. So what they did that? I don't even know what that acronym means just yet, but we'll figure it out.
All right. Let's hear what the public has to say.
All right, let's go to the phone line. 323-7775-698-0775. But it ain't no way a fella to have access to 25,000 people. That mean this union dying. Y'all even in recruiting. How often are people joining this union?
I don't know if they're dying. It is still alive and well. Make
You
no
had
mistake about
7
that.
unions defect from beneath you, my friend. You have garnered 700 votes. You seem to not enjoy more than 20% of the support of this union. Why would the Prime Minister waste his time talking to you? I need
But
me a
there's some
president,
concern, though. There's some concern for the
Bradley,
workers.
and I need a president that I am sure is speaking the will of the people, Bradley.
Okay.
He certainly can't be speaking for the people who already get paid.
Yeah,
You agree with
that's management, right? All right.
So who's he speaking for? Oh boy. Anyway, 323-7775-698-0775. Let me hear what you got to say. And all of the members of all of the areas of the public service have had increases in their salary in 4 years on more than one occasion, and the wind tell me they having promotion November 1. Hello, caller, welcome to Freedom March.
323-7775-698.
Hello.
You're live,
Hey, caller.
caller.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Good, Papa.
Papa, yeah. Okay, Levon. So tell me something. Madam President, you aware that Melinda Wilson, she's the president of the umbrella union with the public service under, right?
Agreed, but every union is autonomous.
Yes.
Right.
But you, huh?
Right. So umbrella unions or congresses, I mean, they are congresses, sure, but each union has its own specific head of agreement, has its own president, has its own autonomy. She doesn't speak for the BPSU.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, listen, you remember Obi Ferguson, he speaks on behalf of BPL sometime, although BPL gets straight, they wasn't making noise when Obi was making noise, right?
Right.
Lately, right?
Right.
But he does speak on them. Anyhow, if you
So
say
as
that...
a Congress, listen to what I'm saying. Let me see if I can help you understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
As a Congress, yes, she's the president of that Congress, right?
Yes.
But the way, it's kind of like how Baptist churches, I don't know, come under a flag. So you have Union Baptist, Missionary Baptist, right?
Mm-hmm.
But every pastor is the pastor of his church. You follow me?
Yeah, but they have a thing on a convention.
They have a convention, they elect a president, and then all of us go back in their church and do what they want.
Everybody. I agree to disagree.
Go ahead,
on
no
that,
problem,
although you
Papa.
might be
Let's
right
keep
and
going.
I may be wrong.
Let's
you
keep
was
going.
asking, like, you don't use the word audacity, but you saying what make Melinda want to ask for the money at the end of the month?
No. I'm asking, like, how is she?
Give it audacity.
No,
to think
not
it's
the
weird.
audacity. See, if you use the word audacity, you change the sentence.
Oh, what is the word you use?
How is she
Can I hold
calculating?
until after the break, please?
Sure. How is she calculating that October would be a better month than December? She said that we are asking them for the payment to be October. Why?
Because of the surplus. Because of the surplus. I will hold until after the break to tell you what we expect the Prime Minister to say tonight.
No.
You already mentioned the
Hold
projected
on, Papa. We're
surplus.
coming back.
We get into the break, Papa. No more. Freedom March will be right back. It's Freedom March.
single person matters. Every single dream is worthy of support. Every single challenge must be confronted. There is no space for sitting small. There is no space for fear. But there is room enough for those who are brave enough to refuse the path of the least resistance, and with brave hearts cut a path for those who are counting on us.
This is Freedom March.
Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Levan Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM, channel 224. Of course, that's on cable. Channel 112, that's on Flow. And ILTV Studios, where you should be following us by now. I don't say that if you're already here listening to me. I said it for you so that you could be inspired to call your friends that are probably listening to nothingness on those other radio stations and tell them to come over here and listen to us at Freedom March, where at least often the goal is to inform, to educate, and from time to time, when I run dead hot, Bradley,
Be entertained.
indeed. Let's go back to the phone line. 323-777-5, 698-0775. Papa, you still there? Papa still there? Nope, let's take another one. 323-777-5, 698.
Is she
Hey,
demanding that they get it by the end of the month?
So you have to repeat that. Say it one more time.
I said because of the projected surplus. Remember when they...
Papa, but that doesn't make sense. The surplus will still be the surplus
It didn't make sense when it didn't make sense when the Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance said it.
But the surplus will still be the surplus in December.
Yeah.
So what?
Listen, then people done tell Prime Minister Davis last week, if you can't get our money, ring the bell.
But ringing the bell won't bring the money.
What you mean it wouldn't ring? What you mean it wouldn't ring the money?
You think if a new government takes over? Hold on, Papa. Let's make sure we answer the questions one at a time. You think if the election is called and a new government win November 1, that the new government coming out of an election to pay $70 million? Because I don't think so.
I believe that politically, the Archangel Michael, I believe they'll do it. That's just my opinion. Listen, you know what we expect. Don't forget what I tell you. They say if you can't get the money, ring the bell. Listen.
But we have to be measured. We have to be measured in our assessment of these things.
Man, I don't know if
you ring the bell, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, you ring the bell, a new government takes over November 1, right?
New mandate.
You assume that new government, on day 1, is going to come out and spend $70 million on something they didn't promise?
They go work towards trying to get it solved.
You probably still wouldn't get it till December.
I don't believe that. I believe with God help, they could do it before December. They could do what they want to. Listen to me. The address tonight.
I'm not saying that the Prime Minister can't pay the money before December.
Okay.
I'm saying to him not to flinch, because if you flinch, then they will say, well, if you could have paid a long time, why you ain't pay it? Right? Don't listen to these people. I don't care what pulpit they screaming from.
Okay.
I'm saying to you, Papa, if
so
the
that's
government
the
is
you believe when he do pay it, they still go vote him out.
But that's my point. So
okay.
at this, so by
this
your
people money, this ain't Brave Davis money.
No, Papa, this ain't their money. This our money.
Yes, our money.
And
the people.
Hold on. And as a consequence, everyone that is not a member of the public service should make the Prime Minister justify why are you paying people more money to do the same job?
Because they ain't getting paid right. They had a study,
They wasn't getting paid right for 15 years, Papa.
Yes, and the Prime Minister tried to deal with it. They had a study.
That's my point.
They had a study.
That's my exact point to you. And the Prime Minister said, let's grab this bull by the horn.
Yes.
But in the execution of doing that, in order to be judicious, in order to make sure that we practice some prudence.
Hard hair don't make good soup.
There's nothing hard hair
don't make good soup.
about this, Papa.
I believe tonight when the Prime Minister addressed us, the public, because he said he come and address us, right? The public, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe the only thing we want here, because we get our children in the schools, we don't know even if to send them to school tomorrow. We want here.
Don't send them, let them to be outside in the road.
They don't have the money, that he can borrow it from the web shop owners.
And all I'm saying to the Prime Minister is
PPP, public-private partnership.
That's
borrow the money from the web shop owners and pay the teachers.
That doesn't make sense.
What
I don't want
sense?
the government to owe the number. Why would I want that?
And they renting buildings and doing all kind of private partnership.
I don't mind if they're doing business. I don't want the government borrowing money from the number boys. Think about what you're asking the government to do.
It's needed. People need to pay their rent. People need to pay their
they won't do
mortgages.
that,
we have to disagree there.
Yeah, they won't do
I
that.
gotta let you go to Papa. But I will tell you this.
Yeah, man.
If the Prime Minister blinks, if he flinches, they got him. Prime Minister, you don't pay me for advice. You could ask me to go fly a frisbee somewhere. If the Prime Minister flinches, Bradley, they get... In the game of poker, my brother, once you bet your hand, you sit there with your steel face. And you didn't bet your hand. So you take your pair of trees, and all you do is raise the pot 100. And make them bet their hand. Hello, caller. That's what you do when you have a pair of trees.
Levon, the government is not going to. They're going to be very careful how they deal with this matter.
Make them bet
Because
their
there's
hand.
too much at stake.
What is at stake?
Losing the confidence of the public service.
How if the Bradley? Now you all sound like Bahamian woman. If the prime minister has given the government
hardline prime minister.
Hold on. If the prime minister has given
Tell
the
them you
public
ain't gonna pay them.
Listen, man. If the prime minister
Okay.
has given the public servants a raise every year for 4 years, if the prime minister has taken up the minimum wage immediately upon coming to office, if the prime minister has reduced VAT immediately upon coming to office, and you telling me that if the prime minister does 99 things wrong and he offends the public one time, he should be voted out of office?
Yeah, it shouldn't affect him. Okay, so let's see. Yeah.
I tell you, you all sound like Bahamian woman to
Okay,
me.
so you're right.
Hello, caller. Hello, caller. You know, Daddy, you tell me, you know, what you do for crisis lasts around, yeah? Hello, caller.
Hello, what's happening, gentlemen?
All is well.
That's Grammy Boy.
Hey, GNN.
Listen to me. I not so much in spiritual advisor today, but I'm highly disappointed in the way you carry yourself with reference to the situation, you know.
Please explain to me why.
Okay, because I can take off your purpose level because then y'all gonna hang up on me. Because nobody knows us to know tonight. When I go home to my children, there's nothing to eat. Nobody has to know when they get up for school tomorrow, they're going to have their uniform, or some can't go because they ain't get no shoes. You understand? Nobody has to know. We got to sit back on and twine up my daughters and my son here and do what I got to do, and they ain't get no lunch money. Nobody got to know that. And I can tell you, Belinda Johnson is a classmate of mine. St. John's College. And from I know her, she was always a focused woman. She ain't gonna do nothing what she ain't supposed to do just because she could do it. Now, my question to you two is, after last week, that incident out there, what did the Prime Minister come downstairs and say there?
He paying them before Christmas.
No, sir. He said, I will meet with you tomorrow. He never cleared that up. But Belinda said something on Tuesday. He break the promise, you know.
That no,
That's how
sir,
y'all
no,
channel
sir. No, see, now you sound like the preacher. I see. GNN, I disagree. You sound like the misinformed preacher that's saying things from a place of misinformation.
Yeah, but he got the
The Prime
collected
Minister met with the people Monday, right?
He got the collected blame.
The Prime Minister, yes, but you all are just continuing to argue this. The Prime Minister met with the union on Monday, which was a holiday, right? The Prime Minister gave the people information on a Monday, which was a holiday. The people walk right out the meeting and say, and if they don't meet with us Tuesday, we'll march. Well, you all don't sound like you all want to negotiate. You all sound like you all want to march. So go march.
What happened today? What happened today then?
So the Prime Minister rescinded his offer for the meeting and said, I will talk to the Bahamian people.
You can see bad because what Belinda say? That's petty.
No, man. GNN, do you understand the art of negotiation?
Me?
Yeah.
I just stayed in line.
This is my point. So my point is, if we negotiating at the table in good faith, right? How dare you come out this meeting and tell the people that you still plan? Do you realize that puts your foot soldiers in a work to rule posture?
That's why I say petty. It's a more democracy we live in.
No, man. Then you don't sound like you acting in good faith. And if all you want to do is march, I wish your gout flare up. Go ahead.
If and why and things they conjunction, I can say what I want to say. Freedom of speech.
Great. And you know what I can do as Prime Minister? Take you off my calendar for Tuesday.
You know what we can do as workers with the little children when they stay in school with nothing? Take him out of office. Thanks for taking the children.
All right. Well, he got bigger problems to worry about in Cat Island if you ask me. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
323-7775.
I don't want Philip Davis to let what happened to Christy Bahama. Hold on, caller. You remember Christy let Bahama keep him so busy? He lose by 4 in Centerville. I want Philip Davis to keep his mind on that. Hello, caller.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Miss Miller, how are you?
I'm good.
Mr. Roll, how are you?
Doing well, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, I listened to the union president.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't agree with Mr. Ferguson telling the Prime Minister to go and do his job. The Prime Minister is doing his job because he's running the country.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Ferguson needs to go and do his job, what he was called to do,
Mm-hmm.
and leave the Prime Minister alone.
Mm-hmm.
Are you done?
I can't.
Yes,
We can't. We can't tell if you stop talking or not.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you got to turn your radio down because we can hear the feedback. And I agree with you, right? And like I told GNN, there are just certain tenets of a negotiation. You know why I don't talk to Rowan woman? Because Rowan woman can't hear nothing, Bradley. So at whatever point you want to talk, you let me know, so that when you stop Rowan, I could tell you where I've been.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna try to tell you where I've been while you rowing. Because being
The communication is not good.
that's
at all.
my point.
Okay.
And if I meet with you on a holiday, man, you know anything Brave Governor Water and Holy won't go to on Monday?
No, I think he
What
did
do you
it.
mean no? The Prime Minister enjoys water
I don't
and
know.
holes.
Okay.
Right?
We got some calls.
And instead of being to the water and hole, you know where he is? Stuck up, crease up in
Doing the
this meeting.
people's business as he should. Yeah.
So you don't get no day off from your job. And you a day off from your job?
Yeah, well, the Prime
So you
Minister.
don't think he deserve one day off from his
The
own?
Prime Minister's travel a lot, man. Okay. You
To work.
you get plenty days.
To
off.
work. And people who say that makes me laugh, because if you've ever traveled for work, you will know that there's nothing fun about it.
Yeah, but at least you get a time. You
Hello,
enjoy some
caller.
things.
Welcome to Freedom March. Ah, boy. You know what? King Charles, you don't want to just come back for this place, eh? Because I'm sure these Negroes need independence.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm wondering about you. King Charles! Yeah, the king must, he can't hear me, eh?
Okay.
King Charles!
So you won't go back to the kingdom.
Man, I could learn God Save the King tomorrow morning, actually.
Okay.
Hello?
Hey, caller.
Hello?
Hey, caller.
I'm there?
You loud and clear.
Okay. Mr. Miller?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and special advice, how you doing?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing?
Okay. Mr. Miller, what I want to say one day, with the money with the union,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Kingsley Ferguson out the marching like the Prime Minister is not doing anything. He need to get things sorted out with the pensioners. You go to the bank check what they give, about they all getting paid late. And what all they want the Prime Minister to do? What all they want the Prime Minister to do? And this is the only Prime Minister ever give us all these raises. All these raises. Tell him please leave Philip Brave Davis alone. Because these people who are talking, they're only living now because of Philip Brave Davis. Kingsley, Ferguson, I've been to the bank with my friend. I tell you, I didn't get no money because they swing me.
Mm.
And we go on with 3 checks.
Mm.
And they say, baby, ain't no money here.
Mm.
The check was about
Wow. Yeah,
$60 a month.
Wow. Wow.
And I got witness. And you think I lied? I have witness.
Wow.
You understand?
So we
And
can
he
just
wanted
say
to come to the
allegedly.
Prime Minister, when the
We
Prime
can say
Minister
allegedly
give
to
you
cover
a
up,
raise,
but wow.
the money come through. When Hubert, hold on, Mr. Miller, one more second. When Hubert Minnis, Carol say we could get the pension and get $50. You know what I get? $11 for the pension, the NIB.
Mm.
Tell him talk that.
Wow.
Tell him talk that.
Right.
Y'all have a blessed day.
Allegedly, we're gonna just allege all of those things, right?
Yeah.
Right. All of that.
Because we don't know it to be true.
We're gonna allege. But again, Mr. Prime Minister, let's run this camera. Y'all want me look at this one?
This one
Mr.
here.
Prime Minister, go. Y'all ain't zooming in the camera. Zoom the camera in. Go down to Kid Island. Spend 2 or 3 weeks, and you don't leave till the contractor finish Kid Island, my friend. I am telling you, it will not profit the man to gain the world, and he lose Kid Island. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
I'm just calling to tell the Bahamian people, you all leave Philip Brave Davis alone. He is doing a magnificent job, and he will be the Prime Minister again. He's the only prime minister who giving these bunch of raise and all these difference of money. Who else doing it?
How's he?
The FNM ain't doing it.
How's he performing in Cat Island?
Ministers wouldn't even come out there and talk to them.
How is he performing in Cat Island?
I work in the public service, and he will be getting my vote again. You all leave that man alone.
How's he performing in Cat Island?
Thank you. And I tell him, if I was brave, see, you all like to talk about the Prime Minister being petty. He ain't petty enough if you ask me. I put everyone name who done get their money in the newspaper. See, because what you ain't gonna do is throw rock and hide your hand. I want the people to know who all done got the government money. That's what I want them to know. If you got the government money, my brother, look for your name in the newspaper Monday.
Okay, so then we must call for the Freedom of Information Act then.
You can call for the freedom of anything you like.
Yeah.
Money, newspaper.
Okay.
Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, Anton.
How you doing, Devon?
Very good.
Virgil, how you doing?
Hey, what's happening, Anton? Everything good?
Right, man. I was just trying to bite on a piece of party when y'all largely. But look here.
Okay.
There's plenty mess going on and plenty misinformation taking place. Even right here on the show today, Spiritual and Liban. First and foremost, Spiritual.
Hey.
You made a comment maybe about 45 minutes ago, so an hour now. Well, Liban is explaining the Prime Minister, in his wisdom, increase the minimum wage, right? Under his administration. And he gave the numbers from 210 to 260.
260, yeah.
And you would have come behind and said $50. So that was nothing.
Yeah, it's small, yeah.
No, sir. Let me explain something to you. If you are working even in the private sector, you don't get no 20% increase in salary, sir. That is a massive increase. You understand, Spiritual? Spiritual, when you are analyzing salary increases, you can't look at the physical number. You have to look at the percentage of the increase over the existing salary. That's how you determine if it's good, if it's bad, or if it's ugly. Okay? That increase represented almost 24%, 23.8% to be precise.
Okay.
Over what existed at that time before the $50 increase. That is a massive increase. That works out to almost $2,600 per annum. And over the civil service, if you have around 15,000 persons who are earning minimum wage, that could work out to almost $40 million in increase in the government's budget because of what the Prime Minister, Philip Brave Davis, did. In addition to that, the Prime Minister is now in his own wisdom. And see, let's not try to bring the former failed and incompetent FNM administration into this current mix with the salary review. They did not conduct no salary review. They did not give no salary increase. They did not give no increments. They did not do what they were supposed to do for the Bahamian people, to put Bahamian workers in a better position. They hurt the Bahamian people. They cost the Bahamian people. Okay? So let's put to bed that conversation with reference to salary review under the previous administration, because it's absolute nonsense. It took this Prime Minister in his own wisdom again, with his cabinet, to conduct that salary review, to provide for the Bahamian people, in addition to the minimum wage increase, another lump sum payment, which he's going to do, and another increase on their salaries, which the people who are on the minimum wage will also receive that increase. These are massive things being done for the Bahamian people. Look, we have the union leaders who are misconstruing what is happening. Let's look at what is happening with the teachers' union. The teachers' union, they had a review done for them and all of the teachers years ago. The civil service haven't had it done in decades. But the teachers have enjoyed the benefit of a salary review. I don't know if you recall. Do you recall the conversation? Senator would have been alive when that happened. Spiritual. Do you recall that conversation?
I'm trying to.
I'm asking you.
I'm trying to, Anton.
So, do you recall it, Limon?
I'm not exactly sure, but what I do know, Anton, is the conversation. Anton, there was a time in my former life when I recall Perry Christie as the Prime Minister, Fred Mitchell as the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Labour coming to HMBS Coral Harbour to talk about a salary review. It was at that time that then Minister of Foreign Affairs and Labor, Fred Mitchell, or I think he was Minister of Foreign Affairs, Immigration and Labor, some big long title, said that they were thinking about removing the able seaman from the rank because the able seaman rank, they couldn't find it comparably on the pay scale when they compared us against the police force, etc., blah, blah, blah. Right? The conversation of salary reviews and adjustment was happening when I was a Marine seaman. Now, let me tell you how I live my life. My brother, if you ever hear me align something with a time when I was a Marine seaman, we are talking 2 decades.
Right.
All right? And I can't understand how, hold on, Anton, I can't understand how a conversation that was being had when I was a Marine seaman is finally being addressed. And the people in the road ready to burn down Bay Street.
Listen here. This is exactly why I decided to call in Levon, right? To address the misinformation that's happening right now on the show, to address the attitude, the snobbish attitude that is being taken against a massive, almost 25% increase in the minimum wage salary, right? Given by this administration, not the former, right? No, you all also talk about NIB. In Mr. Davis' wisdom, Prime Minister Davis, he also increased the pension for the pensioners. He increased the
all right,
pensioners.
Anton, we gotta go.
Those are facts.
We gotta go, Anton. Let me take another phone call, all right?
Thank you.
323-777-569-8077.
Anton is truly
you
a
all didn't tell me
PLP,
yet what will happen if Olympus fall. Nobody answered yet for me.
Anton is truly a
PLPs
PLP.
are afraid of that question of the bears. I just want to know if we have
I think that the government, I think the Prime Minister is preparing for that.
For if Olympus falls?
Yeah, if it does fall, there's a plan B. We got to call her.
Oh, okay. You're not the kind what the people say they take it and the baby's still born. You're not that kind. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March. Caller there?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm calling concerning the gift that the Prime Minister has for the civil service. Listen here, we are so ungrateful as a people. Okay? Kingsley Ferguson never went to the board and say, this is what my people need. The Prime Minister giving that to us. Okay? And he need to stop hiding behind. I know women are powerful. Okay? I tried to vote him out because he have not do no work for the public service people. Now he won't go march.
Well, maybe he won't be a member of the Church of God of Prophecy band.
Listen, I work for government. And underneath Hubert Alexander Ingram, he stopped increment promotion raise.
Right.
Okay? Then Perry Christie came. He gave us promotion and raise and increment. Then Minnis came in. Minnis stop it. Okay? You couldn't even say boo to Minnis because he wasn't hearing nothing from you. Okay? Mr. Miller, let me tell you something. You are so right. This is political. And you know what? The Bahamian people need to stop being used.
Yeah.
Stop being used.
I tell you, this look like a play right out of We March book, my friend.
Honestly.
Yeah, and they can't
then
lie
the
to me.
thing
I was
about
in the
it, you
room.
can turn around and give up what the Prime Minister is giving you for these people to get in power, and then what you think they can do? They can stop everything
As a
like
matter
they
of fact,
normally do.
if I was the Prime Minister yesterday when I canceled the meeting, I would say on further review, because you all don't know what he's looking at, and the Prime Minister sits high enough to see far enough. Based on our review, you know something? My analysts have concluded that January is a better month. Yeah.
That caused some serious issues.
You all ain't asked for this money.
Okay, well, let's
The same money you all wait for.
Okay. So
Thank you, Gola.
treat it that way then.
The same money you all asked for.
Okay.
The same money you all wait for.
And let the Prime Minister follow your advice.
I tell you, because I do not believe, I want to, as a matter of fact, I'll put the date for whichever day they have BPSU elections, and I'll say, listen, I hear you all got one president, I ain't sure if you all like him, but I have your money, and I want to talk to whoever is the person that emerges from that election, and then see who emerges. Because I'm telling you that the temperament of this union president They need to cut the balls off of this Ram. He doesn't have the temperament. He just bucking into the wall for no reason. He bucking into cars for no reason. He galloping for no reason. And the only way to ensure that we don't have to worry about this Ram goat no more is to cut his balls off. Because I'm telling you, right, that he's going to lead the flock astray, Bradley. Because his temperament is off. He lacks the ability to rationalize. He lacks the ability to measure danger. He's taken the flock the wrong way. And if I were the Minister of Public Service, I would say, well, I'm prepared to negotiate with whomever the will of the people decides. But I want to ask the will of the people, is this what you all have decided is the best representation of what you would want to represent you? And if you all answer yes, then sure. But I want to invite you to reconsider that. Anyway, that's the jingle. I mean, we have the time in order to show. This is Freedom March. We'll see you again here tomorrow.
If it's the Lord's will, we'll be back.